I want to preface all this by saying I'm not your attorney. We are not in an attorney-client relationship, and this isn't legal advice. This is legal analysis, and this is legal opinion, but I'm not giving legal advice. I give legal advice for money to my clients. I'm pretty strict on that. If you're going to go to the police, the first thing I would recommend is never to admit to 2 misdemeanors. This auditor, a father's love runs deep, and so I understand where this auditor is coming from. His son hooked up with someone on Snapchat for the purpose of going to a park, a public park, after dark to receive oral sex. It is against the law to have oral sex in a park. Telling the police that you went to a park for the express purpose of receiving oral sex, and then you did receive the oral sex when you went to said park, is admitting to engaging in lewd or dissolute conduct in any public place or in any place open to the public or exposed to public view. It says solicits here, but it's an individual who solicits anyone to engage in or who engages in. So engaging in lewd or dissolute conduct in any public place is a misdemeanor. In order to have your penis sucked, it has to be exposed at some point in time, in whole or in part. That would be indecent exposure. If you expose your person or the private parts thereof in any public place, you have committed the misdemeanor of indecent exposure. So one big rule when you're going to talk to the police is make sure that you're not going there to admit to committing 2 misdemeanors. Now, whether or not they act on it is entirely up to them. I don't think they will. But you can tell from the looks on their faces right here that they're in a mild state of disbelief. Another quick life lesson that I think everybody needs to learn is that if your desire is to only have intercourse with biological females, and you meet someone on Snapchat who wants to engage in oral sex with you, but insists on it being dark with no lights and them being heavily bundled to the point where their features are obscured, that should be an indication to you that maybe they are not advertising themselves appropriately. That's not a crime, though. And if you're going to try to make an argument that 261A5 would apply, you have a long row to hoe. Rape is an act of sexual intercourse accomplished with a person not the spouse of the perpetrator under any of the following circumstances, where a person submits under the belief that the person committing the act is someone known to the victim other than the accused, and this belief is induced by any artifice, pretense, or concealment practiced by the accused with the intent to induce this belief. The part that our kindly auditor and father failed to focus on is known to the victim. If Bob and Betty are dating and they're having an intimate physical relationship, and then Bob wants to hurt Betty's feelings or humiliate her or something along those lines, he then talks to his friend Fred, and he says, "Hey, Fred, here's some of my cologne. Why don't you put it on, go and sneak into Betty's bedroom, and you can have intercourse with her pretending to be me." Fred does so. Betty, smelling Bob's cologne, thinks that it's Bob in bed with her, and she willingly engages in intercourse with who she believes to be Bob, but is in actuality Fred. Well, Bob is someone known to Betty. A random person on Snapchat who you believe to be biologically female is not known to you. this subsection does not apply. For example, if I go to a bar and I meet a young lady and I say, "Young lady, I am a millionaire. Have intercourse with me." And she says, "You're a millionaire? Of course I will have intercourse with you." We engage in intercourse, and then I say, "Oh, by the way, young lady, I am not a millionaire." Does that mean I raped her? No, it does not. This section would not apply to that. So, always talk to an attorney before you go to the police. And I say that knowing that you won't talk to me, you'll probably talk to some other attorney, and that's fine. Talk to an attorney where you have an attorney-client relationship where you're paying them money, or maybe they're offering you a free consultation or what have you, but talk to an attorney where you have an attorney-client relationship so that they can run past you the idea that you will be admitting to 2 separate misdemeanors, and that the act that you're complaining of does not rise to the level of a crime. At least as far as I know. I'm not your attorney, and so I'm not really going to dig far into it. But if you paid someone to do it, if I was getting $350 an hour to go research this, I would be more than happy to find a way to either get this somehow classified as a crime, or to find a way to bring a civil action against the person who deceived you or your son. But there's $350 an hour between me doing that and me not doing that. So understand, I'm not your attorney. That said, I hope everything does work out well with you and your son. I hope your son has learned something from this. I hope you've learned something from this, and I hope the audience has learned something from this. And I'm not going to go as far as to say that what you should learn is don't talk to the police, but I will say that you should be darn sure that you're talking to the police about what you should be talking to the police about, and not just telling the police you've committed crimes. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.